Episode 6. Who's here today? We're taking attendance from now on, just so you guys know, because I showed up last week. No one was there last week. During attendance, you always got the one funny guy. Everybody else is serious. Oh, I'm here. Then the one person, I'm not here. That joke's never gonna kill, okay? We can just give it up. You're probably wondering why there was no episode 6 last week. This looks like an episode 6 to me. Did anyone have to do number scrolls in elementary school? We had a program where during playtime, instead of going outside, you could write numbers up to 100. Not that difficult. Up to 100, feel like they could have pushed us more. But if you got up to 100, then you started to get incentives like you could have lunch with the principal, which was a reward. That was not that was both a punishment and a reward. I wonder if they ever double booked those. Anywho, we're staring straight down the barrel at an episode 6 right here. The reason I didn't do an episode 6 last week, I went to Mardi Gras. I went to Mardi Gras. Mardi. No one spells their name M-A-R-D-Y. That's like name variations like Maddie, I-E versus Y. Is that because of how the full name is spelled? Is that why it's spelled differently, or is it strictly a preference thing? Do you get to choose when you shorten your name? I always wanted like a nickname that was shorter, because like Ryan can't be short. Rye? Don't call me Rye. Like Alexander, that's Alex. Or Al. Or Xander. Or Lex. Or And. Or There's so many options. I want a more flexible name. My last name's pronounced Micho, by the way. That's consistently pronounced wrong, but that's okay. I got to the point where I just eat it. If someone pronounces it wrong, I just that's fine. However you choose to pronounce it is the correct pronunciation, is the sort of what I operate under. When I went to school, my cousin was the grade older than me, and he told all of our teachers that our last name was pronounced Micho. So then I would have those teachers, and they would be like, Ryan Micho. And I'd be like, no, it's actually Micho. And then they'd be like, no, it's Micho. They would correct me. So I was fighting an uphill battle. It's tough on the first day of school when your teacher doesn't trust you know how to pronounce your last name. You're forging a tough road ahead for the year if they think your intelligence level is that you struggle with pronouncing pretty much the first thing you're taught as a human is your name. I went to Mardi Gras. People in the South drink more than I've ever seen any person be able to. I feel like they are the guinea pigs for like how much can a human possibly drink? Like I saw adults just blackout drunk on the street consistently. Like it was more shocking to find a sober adult. It's like, what's wrong with that guy? He's standing up straight and he seems coherent. That feels more odd than seeing someone stumbling down the road. And some of the drinks they have it's just alcohol. Like it's not a creative, like a hurricane. I'm pretty sure that's like just liquor. They just mix, if you mix liquor with other liquor, that doesn't make the liquor taste better. You're just drinking a lot of liquor. I could not keep up. Parades were very cool though. Forgot about parades. I can't go to another parade in my life. The New Orleans, they take parades seriously. We're waking up, oh, we got a 10 a.m. parade, then there's the 1 p.m. parade. I love parades because they come to you. I think that's how most things should operate. Like in the airport, when you step on that thing and then it just it just takes you. Horizontal escalator. I want one of those in my house. Do we do bar soap or do we do body wash? Tried conditioner, couldn't do it, made my hair greasy. I told my haircut person that I don't use conditioner. She flipped out. I can't do it. I don't know, maybe I'm using it wrong, but it just turns me into a grease ball. I can't go out in public like that. So anyone who has recommendations for how I should take care of my hair better, should I get a perm? Should I do a half perm? I think more people should experiment with half haircuts so you don't commit to the full thing. Because obviously, haircut, that's a big decision. Shave half the head. A buzz cut's very tempting. I understand the allure of a buzz cut. Because this stuff's always in my freaking face. Maybe I'll just shave the top. I'll just shave the top and I'll keep the sides so it's out of my face. But then if the sides get long enough and it gets windy, then I'm getting blown in front of my face. Then I got a whole other issue. Also, in these Mardi Gras parades, not that long ago, they used to throw spears. Like, you're familiar how it's beads that they throw off? It used to be spears, wooden spears. And then apparently too many people were getting injured. Yeah, because you're throwing a weapon off the... Well, we did used to shoot cannonballs off of it, but then too many people were complaining about dying. Wooden spears, we don't want that. I'm not going to the parade if they're throwing wooden spear. That's an assault. I'm not putting my hands up for that. I don't want anyone to throw me a spear. Cool way to go out though. You can't deny that. Pretty cool way to go out. Spear to the heart? That's Dracula style. Nobody's going out like that anymore. Everybody's so obsessed with anti-aging. Why is nobody obsessed with aging? How come? As a child, you're obsessed with getting older, and then as an older, you're obsessed with getting younger. So what is the sweet spot? Am I currently in the sweet spot? Mailman. That's one of the last remaining old sort of, I feel like that's akin to milkman. That sort of genre of job. They're not around anymore. I have a guy that brings me my mail. I have a guy that, why was it milk specifically? Were we going through milk in quantities large enough to justify a guy whose entire job was to bring you milk? Was it just one freak who was like, well, you know, we need mailman, we need mail every day. Of course, we also need milk every day. We go through a gallon of milk every day. Walked downstairs earlier, Aiden's friends are visiting, and one of them was drinking milk for breakfast. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's a dinner food. People get pissed off at people drinking milk for dinner. I think it's fine. I think to each their own. Also, the first time I had whole milk, I was raised on skim milk or 0% fat milk. First time I had whole milk, it was like blew me out of the water. It's a whole different ball game. If you've been raised on skim milk, you got to get your hands on some of that. On some of that 2%. I also didn't know that whole milk I think it's just 3%. It goes from skim, which is 0, 1%, 2%, got it. Whole milk, just tell me 3%. Is chocolate milk actually like good for recovery? That feels like something a 7-year-old made up. That's one of the nutrition facts that just does not seem accurate to me. People say like drinking chocolate milk post-workout is good for muscle recovery. It's like eating candy. I feel like that's not some of the most fit people, like NFL players, eat a lot of candy. Apparently like wide receivers and stuff. So is that what makes them fast? Is that what makes them fast? Or do they work out or do they just eat candy? At Mardi Gras, there were also the age of people drinking down. Legitimately saw 12-year-olds walking by me with a beer, not just a beer, but in a koozie, which sort of implies that they've been drinking long enough to desire a koozie. I'm not even there yet. I don't even need a koozie. I feel like that's like 45-year-old dad at a tailgate sort of thing. These kids probably have been drinking longer than I have. Every bathroom should have a strong fan. I don't understand why sometimes you turn on the fan, it's like a little hum. No, I want that thing to be industrial. I want it to be like one of those hurricane simulators where you're getting blown around. I don't want people to hear what I'm doing in the bathroom. If you're loud enough, people are going to be listening. And it's very difficult to recover from that. You can't just jump back into a conversation after lighting up the bathroom. There should just be a noise canceling function on all showers where it's just loud enough where you can't hear anything going on in there. The fan in my bathroom also has a heater, which is an interesting trade-off because I like the noise, but then I'm pooping and I'm getting blasted by heat. You don't want to be hot while you're pooping. That's a cold activity because you're already working up a sweat depending on the effort level. So you don't want to be heating up. Mardi Gras. Getting the beads at Mardi Gras is also a very intimate process because you have to like lock eyes with someone on the float. I thought it would just be sort of like everybody just throw it down. No, it's like you got to be like, I want those beads. And they're like, you want these beads? How bad do you want these beads? I'm like, I want the beads really bad. And then they'll throw the beads down. But it's draining. It's strength. You need a breather in between floats because you're like, you really feel like quite a strong and intimate connection with this person who's now just floating down the street and you're never going to see them again. The people on the floats wear masks as well, which I think provides a level of anonymity that empowers them to throw the beads as hard as they can. I think sometimes they are aiming for people. And again, going back to when there were spears, I imagine not a good combination. People bring ladders, didn't know that. People bring decorated ladders and they have their kids up on the ladders to get the beads. Feels like cheating. It does feel like cheating to me. I think it should just be whoever's tallest. Or maybe we have a separate parade going underneath the float so that people throwing from the top, and then they also have people coming out of the sewers and handing the shorter people beads. That way we take care of the need for ladders. I'm also glad that I saw the ladders at the parade. I didn't see people bringing ladders to the parade because that's a lot harder to explain. Just a bunch of children carrying ladders down the road. Feels a little bit like child labor. I'd be probably on the phone with some child labor regulations people calling that in. Because if you just saw a bunch of children walking down the street with ladders, you'd think, wow, that's a group of very hardworking children. They're all going to paint a house or something together, and they seem very happy about it. All also have a beer in their hands, 12 years old. Making someone's bed when you leave as a guest makes sense from the standpoint of like you're being respectful because you just stayed in their house. But they're going to strip the sheets immediately. But that's just one of those sort of things that's almost like a political charade. It's a nice gesture, but in reality, you're just gonna throw them out. No, you're gonna wash them. You're gonna wash them. I bet being in the washing machine is probably the highlight of my clothes week. Because they get probably just to have so much fun in there, like a little water slide for the clothes. Dryer, probably way less fun. You get in the water slide and then you get blasted with heat. And then you're on the surface of the sun for about an hour getting dried out. You think that you're having a fun time. Oh, it being your first time in the washer, not knowing what's coming next. Ugh. All the other clothes are telling you, if you're liking this, enjoy it, because it's about to change. It's about to be a lot different. It'll be a lot hotter, a lot drier. Wet and cold or hot and dry? What would I prefer? This is me ordering my burger. They asked me how I want my burger done. I think I'll do hot and dry. Growing up, whenever we would get burgers, my dad would say, when they ask, how do you want your burger? Why are burgers the only thing that they allow you to customize? I've been to restaurants where they're like, they put on the front of the menu, like, don't even think about substituting anything. We know food so perfectly, don't even think about adding salt to it. If you add salt to it, they'll cut your hand off. But burgers, they're like, what do you want to do? How do you cook this? They give you the whole gamut of options. It's not even like, it's like rare to well done. It's anywhere along that spectrum. My dad would always ask for no pink. And I thought I was like, Dad, just learn the term for like, that'd be like medium well. But he was like, no, because restaurant to restaurant, it's different what no pink is. How do I ask for my burger? When they say, how would you like your burger? I say, I want you to baby bird it into my mouth. And that throws them off. And then I can ask for any preparation. When I ask for it to be completely rare, they're not even thinking about how weird of an answer that is. They're still stuck on the baby bird thing. Mardi Gras is a month long. I didn't know that. I guess like the last week is the culmination. You know, they have a St. Patrick's Day parade, which is a couple weeks after Mardi Gras, where they throw cabbage off the... See, that's what I'm saying, is like, beads, okay, that's fun. Feels a little malicious when they're throwing it. When they're hurling cabbage at your head, that feels like they're going for injury. Also at Mardi Gras, I was in a car for maybe 20 minutes total the whole time I was there. Not exaggerating, 4 near-miss car accidents. Is driving like that in New Orleans always like that? Are people just sort of doing their own thing? No, not. Rules of the road are more of a suggestion than anything else. Because people, like, it felt like an obstacle course. You got people jumping out, and then there's a car swerving in front of you, and then there's a float coming by. It's just, and not like a fender bender, like potentially catastrophic accidents, like car. That sort of near miss where you shut off the music and you just go, and then you turn the music back on and you keep driving. Do these people in New Orleans have jobs? How are you able to drink competitively and then just go to your work the next day? Because they start at like 3 p.m., goes until midnight, and then they're back every single day. Does nothing get done at work that week? I want to go to the Sphere in Vegas. They should have those more in small markets rather than just Las Vegas. That probably drives investment into the town if you have just a glowing orb in the middle of it. And you could have smaller glowing orbs as well. That could be houses. I'd like all like architecture to be glowing orb. Some people like brutalist architecture. Oh, I like Art Deco. I like glowing orb. That's my style of architecture. I think it's fun if you put a face on anything, humans will just have feelings for it. If you draw a face on a piece of paper and then you crumple the piece of paper, people are gonna feel bad for the piece of paper. And that's one of those things that just reminds us how simple we are. Oh, I got taxes, I got work. You feel bad for a piece of paper, right? So let's take a step back and think about that. Airport tech's so inconsistent. How come sometimes I gotta take everything out of my bag, other times nothing comes out of the bag? But regardless of the situation, TSA is furious if you do not know exactly what is supposed to be going on. Just put a sign up telling me what's supposed to come in, or it's either absolutely nothing comes out of the bag or absolutely everything comes out of the bag. And if you don't guess right. Sweatshirt does come off, belt no, shoes yes. Just why can't we just standardize it? Are the Trader Joe's people trained to be that friendly, or is that just the type of person that they recruit? Is it like a chicken before the egg situation? because it seems like they have all extroverts. I'd like to get the one Trader Joe's employee who does not want to be there and who does not want to talk. And I want to talk drama and dirt with them. I want them in the checkout line to be telling me who's hooking up with who at the store, who's about to get fired, that sort of thing. Because I know you're not all happy. I know you're not all happy to talk to me. You don't enjoy that level of small talk. Unless you do, which is terrifying. Can you imagine the break room at Trader Joe's? Just everyone asking everyone how their weekend was constantly. I want the person doing checkout who's wearing a hoodie and on their phone. That's the level of interaction I would like. You can't do self-checkout at Trader Joe's because they want you to have to pass the test of small talk human interaction. Is the Brita ever green? Has it ever been green? Because I don't think it has been. I got a light on my Brita one day and I got to change the filter. There's no way that there's not lead in my water. I don't know what it could be working so hard to filter out. I got just straight poison in there. How does a filter work that hard? It's just like a sifter, right? It should be washable. It shouldn't be replaceable. I'm not convinced the Brita does anything. I think it's probably more so placebo than anything else. I just fill up what cup. I'm essentially just filling up a bigger cup in the form of a Brita to then fill up my smaller cup. Another example of just humans being dumb. And I go, yeah, no, that definitely tastes better. I think that definitely did do something. New segment. This one's called Animals That I Think I'm Faster Than. I think a small dogs get faster, quite quickly, but I think like one of those small, like curly hair white dogs, I think I could outrun them. If we're going distance as well, me versus one of those dogs in a 5K or a marathon, it's probably not going to run the full marathon because it's a dog and it wouldn't really know conceptually what a marathon is. In regards to birds, well, if we're talking about birds walking versus flying, that's a completely two different questions because birds can obviously fly, whereas I cannot fly. But if we're doing a running race, I would say most birds. I think I could take any bird. I think I could take any bird in a race, in a foot race. Again, if we're getting into flying, that's where things get complicated. I am not quite as proficient in flying. I think I could run faster than a shark can swim. Not gonna look this up, but I do think if it was like a Jaws sort of situation, haven't seen Jaws, where I'm running on the land and the shark is chasing me in the water, I think that would not be an issue. Lizards. I think lizards are too small. I think I would outrun them easily. This new segment is called Best Fruits for Throwing Purposes. Apple. Apple's baseball sized, and I think most people can throw a baseball. So that's gonna be a very good throwing fruit. You'll see a lot of people when they go apple picking will hurl apples as if they are baseballs. I think a lot of people go apple picking more so for the throwing of apples than for the eating of apples. Banana, no good. No good. That's not shaped good. That's shaped like a banana. It's banana shaped, which unfortunately is not conducive to throwing. If you're playing baseball catch with me and you throw me a baseball that's shaped like a banana, I'm going to be very confused. Well, it is a boomerang. It's boomerang shaped. So actually sort of going back on my previous statement, it's good for certain situations. If you were by yourself and you want the object to come back to you, then I would throw a banana. I believe bananas work exactly like a boomerang. Cantaloupe. This one's good because it has grip and it's basketball shaped. You only get one shot out of it because it's going to splat upon ground impact, but that's probably the best use of cantaloupe because it's disgusting, so you probably want it to explode anyways. Grape, too small. Too small, couldn't see it unless you have tiny little hands. Then it could be baseball shaped. That also goes in accordance with blueberries. Those are similar to grapes in regards to size. Tomato would be really good, but I believe that is a vegetable, and that's one of those things where people will get up on their high horse about that and go, well, actually, did you know that actually it's not a fruit, it's not a fruit? Or wait, no, it's a fruit, right? It is a fruit, which means it's throwable, and I believe that's all the fruit. Apple, cantaloupe, banana, grape. Do you tie your shoes bunny style or the other one? The other one doesn't even have a name, does it? Because bunny ear style is so far superior that is the one that was named. The other one doesn't even have a name. I feel like that should tell you all you need to know about learning how to tie your shoes. If you're looking to get into tying your shoes, it's really fun. It is something to explore. And if you're looking to get into tying your shoes, I would start with bunny ears and then work your way towards one of the more complicated styles. Just because you don't want to jump right into one of the more like a fishtail braid. I still can't tie a tie. I don't think I'll ever learn how to tie a tie. I think I'll just always find my dad to tie my tie. I'll just find the closest person to me that knows how to tie a tie and say, do you know how to tie a tie? I will say it's becoming increasingly concerning how few people know how to tie ties, because usually I just rely on someone else to be like, hey, can you tie my tie? But now those same people are going, can you tie my tie? I go, no, none of us can tie anyone's ties. We're just gonna have to start wearing them like shoelace tie around the neck. That might be the next thing. I guess that's kind of just a bow tie. Cats versus dogs. Dogs look at you, cats look through you. Cats know who you truly are before you do. Dogs, just there for fun, just here to play. Cats, probably gonna start spouting a prophecy. Probably the eye's gonna start glowing and spouting a prophecy at any moment. That's the vibe a cat gives off to me, is that it does not want to converse with me, it wants to tell me when I'm gonna die and how. And then they just run off. I'm kind of glad that we can't understand what dogs or cats are saying, because dogs, I feel like what they'd be saying would just be so stupid compared to what cats had to say. And it would really skew like the fact that we had both of them as pets in the same house, you'd feel bad putting the dog with the cat. If you gave a cat a book, it would read it and annotate it. And if you gave a dog a book, it would eat the book. Why is weather a little bit scary? It's a little bit scary. We don't admit it, but it's a little bit scary. If there's a rainy scene in a horror movie, it's about to be a scary scene. And as much as you'd like to say, no, that wouldn't affect me, I wouldn't be scared, you'd be less scared if it was during the daytime, which means that if it's dark and it's rainy, you're scared, and we're scared of rain. We, as people, are scared of rain. We're scared of dark and we're scared of rain. Another good example of humans being very simple creatures. If you want to make humans scared or sad, just make a TV scene rainy and dark. And that will do a lot of the heavy lifting. You can play two scenes side by side. One's rainy, dark, sad music. The other one is daytime, nice lighting, beautiful weather, happy music. Completely two different, same acting performance, two different emotions experienced by the viewer. This was episode 6. Everybody go to bed. I will sing you now to sleep. Thank you all for joining. This is what the back of me looks like, because usually you guys are seeing the front of me, so I just want you to all be able to see the back of me as well, just for context.